This speculation regarding the January chapter is on the rise, and the community jumped from it being the Predator to the crazy take of it being Danganronpa to now it being a potential comeback of Stranger Things Part 2. Let's take a look at all the evidence we have and why there is actually a non-zero chance that the January killer is going to be Vecna. But remember, this video is still speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. So, as you might know, if not because of the delays, we already would have seen the new license chapter that was supposed to release on November 25th, which is going to be a huge license according to the developers, considering how it has a killer and 2 new survivors, something that has only been done with Stranger Things, both Resident Evil chapters and the Skull Merchant chapter. Not only that, in an interview done to Matthew Cote, he said that this is a license from a media he passionately consumes, which is, as of now, the only official hint we have gotten, but it doesn't reveal much.
How excited are you, for this upcoming chapter that we're going to get? You obviously are working in the future in that.
Which one? I will say the content it is based upon is content that I have consumed with great pleasure and with an avid
Write it down, Polly, write it down.
The November date was the biggest reason as to why many of the community, myself included, thought that the next chapter was going to be Predator, as the new Badlands movie released on this month, which would have been a good reason for Behavior to add this character. And this is something that Call of Duty actually did, so it shows that Predator is more than happy to be licensed for other games. Not only that, we know that Behavior has an amazing relationship with Disney based on all the cosmetics Xenomorph and Ripley keep getting, and the fact that a Xenomorph skin referencing Predator also already exists in the game. So it is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. However, the only argument for Predator was that it would be a big license and also the release date coinciding with the new movie, and that's it. The biggest argument against it is how this chapter has 2 survivors when Predator could release as a solo killer, and Dutch was unconfirmed in the past, as Matthew Cote said that he would be too much of a hero to fit as a survivor, which in my opinion is incredibly contradictory considering we have Trevor Belmont and Jill Valentine, but it's his words, not mine.
Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez à ce niveau-là? Est-ce que vraiment pour un survivant, faut que ça vienne d'un truc d'horreur ou faut juste que ce soit un bon survivant?
Ce qui est le plus important pour un survivant, en fait, c'est que ça soit pas des purs héros. Je vais prendre l'exemple extrême, là, mais disons Arnold, que ça soit en Prédateur ou quelque chose comme ça, le classique action hero là, des années 80, c'est très très dur de croire qu'il se ferait péter la gueule puis il se ferait mettre sur un crochet.
Now, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, some people started to speculate that the chapter was actually Danganronpa, a visual novel anime game that is popular in Japan, as the release date would coincide exactly with the anniversary of the saga, evidence that was used for Tokyo Ghoul, which ended up being correct. The devs have also said that they would like to do more Japanese licenses after the success of Tokyo Ghoul, but to be honest, my interest for this license is 0, so from the start, I thought that these arguments were delusional, but who knows, I could be completely wrong. But now let's talk about Stranger Things, because there is actually a lot of evidence to point that this could be the next chapter we are getting out. Before all of this new evidence appeared, some people believed that this would have been the second part of Stranger Things because it would coincide with the release of Season 5, the last season of this show. So it would make complete sense to also promote it on Dead by Daylight since it was a big deal for them. The original chapter was one of the biggest successes that Behavior has done, and it was also the very first that had a map, 2 survivors and a killer. The new chapter makes perfect sense as they could release Vecna, the actual bad guy and the main villain of the saga, along with Hopper, a very important protagonist on the show, and Joyce, a second very important protagonist. Both of these survivors are very well liked and they have plenty of cosmetic options available, and having a Demogorgon in the game instead of Vecna is like having a Koopa Troopa as a killer instead of Bowser. It is a disservice to the show. So the very first spark that caused the Stranger Things speculation was the new PTB, which had changes done to Hawking's out of all maps. You might remember something about Hawking's hooks being changed, however, it was confirmed to have been a visual bug. Instead, what was actually changed was the portal room, which got a complete layout remodel, as well as some changes around Hawking's. Considering there are many problematic maps in the game, it's really interesting to see that Hawking's got a change out of all of them. This could hint that Behavior and Netflix have recently talked, which led to this balance change that would have coincided with the release of the chapter had it not been delayed. Now there can be an argument made as to why they kept the Hawkins change instead of delaying it to January, but my counter argument is that if it's already ready for shipping, why not keep it in this PTB? Why delay it? The second reason as to why people started to think it's actually Stranger Things is because for the first time since this chapter returned in November of 2023, it is actually on sale until the 24th, and to make things even better, the Stranger Things DVD bundle also released back again on the store, which was completely missing ever since the license was removed from the game. This is direct proof that Behavior has talked with Netflix, as the sales have to be negotiated before they happen, considering how they directly affect the finances of both brands. And why now? Why not any time before? This would coincide with the developers wanting to promote the first chapter of Stranger Things before the new chapter releases, so new players could have both. It works perfectly for promotion purposes, and the devs didn't even announce anything about this sale on their social media. Very weird, since they always announce when something is on sale, like during Halloween or the anniversary event. So this could mean that maybe they were planning on doing this to promote the new season in a bigger way, and the new chapter as well, but because of the delay, they just kept the sale without mentioning it. However, as a counter argument, this could just be them promoting the old chapter to scrape some money during the hype moments of Stranger Things, and it has nothing to do with any new chapter coming to the game. But it is still a weird coincidence. Now, another piece of evidence that points out to the fact that it could be Stranger Things Part 2 is how Matthew Cote answered the question in the King's interview regarding repeat license chapters. Here is his answer, and I fully recommend you guys check out this video entirely.
Why don't we see more collaborations with repeat licensors?
Oh, like Resident Evil Chapter 2, for instance. Stay tuned.
Oh, okay. That's a good answer.
I mean, I don't have a good answer, a gooder answer than that.
All right.
That's an interesting answer.
But perhaps the most solid piece of evidence is found on the fact that Netflix is once again happy to collaborate with video game brands. We know that something had to happen in the past for them to drop the license out of Dead by Daylight, and the rumor was that they wanted to promote their own gaming brand. However, after the financial failure of that project, they are now back at licensing their brand for other games. And we can see this in Fortnite, as Vecna has been leaked as a new skin for the game, along with an official creative map based on this license. Brawl Stars also got new cosmetics inspired by characters of the show, so it would be extremely weird if Dead by Daylight didn't get anything at all, considering how open Netflix was with giving them liberty on cosmetics for the survivors and Demogorgon. A Blighted Demogorgon, an Eddie legendary skin, or a Robin legendary skin would sell like hotcakes. It is like not wanting free money by Netflix, which is incredibly weird for a brand so greedy. The delay could have also explained why we haven't gotten anything new for these characters. It's because if we did get something now, it would all but confirm that Stranger Things Part 2 is on the way. And in the case of chapters like Resident Evil, which print money, they only get new cosmetics when something new Resident Evil based is added. For example, Chapter 2 of this license, which added new skins for Jill and Leon, or the 2 vs 8 event, which added new skins for all characters. So it would make sense for Steve, Nancy, and the Demogorgon to get something only with the release of a new chapter. The delay would actually explain why nothing has happened for DBD, but it did happen for other games like Fortnite and Brawl Stars. It's because they want to release the new chapter and the new cosmetics at the same time, so it sadly means they miss out on doing it during the release of the new season. But in my opinion, it's now or never, because the hype is at an all-time high with the season finale. So, to sum up, The evidence for it actually being a second chapter of Stranger Things is: number 1, it fits the description of being a huge license, and also it fits with having a killer, 2 survivors and no map, since Hawkins is already in the game. Number 2, it would have coincided with the release of the last season of Stranger Things had it not been delayed. Number 3, Hawkins got a rework on the PTB, which proves that the devs were working on Stranger Things stuff. Number 4, the original chapter got on sale for the first time since the chapter returned, which did not happen in 2024. Number 5, Netflix has shown proof that they are open to collabing with gaming brands again, including Fortnite, which was the same game they collabed with in the past along with Dead by Daylight. Number 6, Matthew Cote hinted at a repeat license chapter in the interview done by The King. And number 7, the delay could explain why there was no new cosmetics for the original characters yet, despite the license having returned for over a year. And now, put on your tinfoil hat, because I have one last piece of evidence. Remember that one interview where Matthew said that Dutch from The Predator would not fit as a survivor in Dead by Daylight? Take a look at what shirt he's wearing. Let me know what you think the next chapter is going to be in the comments, and a huge thanks to my members for the support, which I appreciate greatly. Thank you for watching, and have a strange day.